Can you introduce yourself to get us started, please?
Hi, certainly. I'm Iain Williams. I'm Director of Strategic Partnerships at NERC, the Natural Environment Research Council, part of UKRI. What that means is I'm responsible for all our long-term investments, largely through our 6 research centres, but also some longer-term investments with the university sector as well. I'm also responsible for our infrastructure and particularly our future infrastructure. So what are the next big research facilities that the environmental science community need to do its research? And I'm also responsible for our digital programs as well. That's our digital infrastructure, our data programs, and our digital research as well.
What initiatives does NERC have in place to support researchers who are looking to connect with the policy landscape?
Yeah, we have a number of initiatives. It's probably best we divide this into 2 parts. We have initiatives that are based on individual programs and initiatives that are based on individuals and supporting individuals. So let's take the program side first. First of all, I hope it's obvious, but we spend a lot of time working with government, various government departments in relation to NERC, co-designing programs to meet both ours as a research funders' needs and government's needs. Not all, but a number, and particularly some of the collective funds across UKRI. We work very closely with government on. So, and as we develop those programs, of course, very often they will have steering groups or advisory bodies or something around that with the government department advising on that program. So there's lots of opportunities there through those individual programs where the research teams can engage with policy officials through those programs. If anybody is engaged or works at NERC centres, we have specific funding streams within NERC centres, one called National and Public Good, which is a relatively small funding stream, but they're dedicated to supporting departments, agencies, and others in that very applied side of things. And so if you're engaged with our centres, that's another really, really good opportunity. And of course, NERC's infrastructures, our facilities, such as our research aircraft, our ships. And I should say, we also have another funding stream that's open to everybody, called the Urgent Grants funding stream, which again can be used to respond to very time-bound issues, as it were. Something's happened and you've got an idea that can really help, and that can be used very much to work with policy teams. We use that, not surprisingly, during the COVID pandemic. A really good example was using that grant that started work on measuring the COVID-19 virus in wastewater. Really important tool for measuring the incidence of COVID in populations, and that was used and taken up quite widely across the UK. That's a good example. But we also have other programs on the other side to help individuals. We have a knowledge exchange fellowship program that helps that exchange of information between policymakers, policy teams, and the NERC research community. We've also got a new program around what we call agenda setting fellows. These are individuals that we fund to help develop a research agenda on a particular issue. And in doing that, very often we hope that these individuals do engage, not just with the research community, but also with the policy community, the end user community, to develop a new area of research that we're considering. So there's lots of ways we can engage, and we do engage all the time.
Looking ahead, how does NERC plan to evolve its approach to fostering research that informs and shapes policy?
Yeah, we're always looking to evolve, to develop and get the balance right, if you like, between policy-led research and response mode research. We're continuing to do that. I mentioned a few moments ago around agenda setting fellows. There's other programs which we tried, which again, we're trialing them. if you like, some a little bit of experiments at the moment that we'll see how they develop. One of which is called the Changing the Environment program, where we have 4 large investments at 4 universities to really look at what we call environmental solutions. So challenges for meeting the environmental challenges we face, working in a very interdisciplinary way, recognizing that environmental science is not going to solely solve many of these challenges, that we need to bring in disciplines from, if you like, across a university, if you like. So we're working on those at the moment. So it's the sort of thing we want to continue to maintain and expand and so on and so forth.